Welcome to Nonprofit Network, powered by Stokes Auction Group. We are a group of fundraising professionals that specialize in raising funds to improve communities of all sizes.
Well, here we go. Welcome, everybody, to our backyard today. This is, we don't know whose backyard this is, but whoever it is has recently trimmed their bush, which is quite lovely. It's in a nice...
Very well manicured,
Very well manicured bush. Very important.
That's a little bit of a dinky bush, I'm not going to lie.
It's a smaller bush.
They just added it the other day.
Dinky. Yeah.
It might even just be a book.
Must have been on sale.
It's not even long enough to be a...
Was your bush on sale? I can see that's a little smaller than...
My, what a small bush that is.
Yeah, I do like the masonry behind me, though. This really makes me feel as if I am living in luxury. Is that a pizza oven that I have behind me?
I feel like you have a pizza oven behind you.
Yep.
Or an oven-ish of some sort. And then this is a chick cave. What do they call it? She shed. That's
why that bush needs to be so small. It would light on fire because the heat coming off the oven.
Such heat.
Yeah, such heat. Such heat. This is the Nonprofit Network. My name's Shelby Stokes.
Hey, Paulie Schenfeld here.
Kelly Schenfeld here. What was that noise?
Our moderator.
I don't know. I heard it too.
It was a tink.
Sounded like some sort of an alarm.
Oh, I think mine tinked early. No, mine's right here. I don't know what tinked. Things are tinking.
Something tink.
And we're tinking that the season is almost over.
Yes, the season is almost over, and that was very good. That was super good.
Super not a dad joke.
But it's not over.
We're close.
We're close, but we have a couple in the summer.
We do. Yeah, I mean, it slows down. Like when we say the season's over, it's the busy is kind of coming to a close, which is nice. Shout out to Karen. I know she has another doubleheader this weekend. We got Jeff on the calendar as well. So things are still happening, that's for sure. But it does feel good to kind of be almost to summer. Like it's kind of like we're in the beginnings of summer, which feels really good.
Yeah, kind of in a lull. It feels like a little bit of a lull, which is awesome, right? Because that's when you can make changes and decide what we're doing in the fall or what changes we want to make as a company and things like that. So, which we're going to do on Thursday. So that's kind of cool. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, we're so excited. You know, I'm
proud
of this team, but always ways to do better and more what we do. So we're going to take a look at that.
Yeah, so that kind of is perfect for some of the questions I have for these gentlemen today, which they are completely unaware of. Yeah. And I love that part of it.
Completely unaware. We have no idea what you're about to ask, but I'm sure it'll be riveting.
Amazing.
A little bit. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what you got for us.
I think that there's been so much change since the pandemic, and I don't like to say that word, you know that.
The P word.
The P word.
Yeah.
The P word. Mm-hmm. But there's been so much change. Things are so different, and all the podcasts that we've been doing, you know, we've talked about our weekends and things like that, and different ideas, and we've really been trying to feed our audience with some ideas, and what would you do in this situation, and how would you handle that? And so I have a couple of questions for you guys about spring, as well as other things. So just hang with me. It's going to be wonderful.
Okay.
I need each of you to tell me your favorite moment this last spring season of auctions. Your favorite moment. And I know you have had a lot of great moments because you're doing, you're doing... And I'll give you a second because I'm going to share with you my favorite moment. We've been doing a lot of new things. It's been new people. A lot of reorganization has happened. A lot of things like that. But my favorite moment this spring, and keep in mind, I had a lot of incredible moments. But it was, there was a gentleman that stood up and said that he wanted to donate $50,000 and nobody knew about it. And he wanted to do it for the people that couldn't. And I'd never heard that before. In all the auctions we had done, I'd never heard anybody say, I want to do this for those that can't. That to me was very moving.
Yeah. That's a cool moment. You should have went last. I should have went
last. Because mine isn't as good.
Because yours is the best.
Mine is the best.
Ramp up. Yeah. You should have went last. We should have saved the best for last. My favorite moment. I think that mine, I'm between two. One of them was to see an organization I've helped with for a handful of years really hit their stride to the fullest ability that they were able to this year. It's a private school in the Puyallup area, and essentially we've done this fundraiser for 5 years, and we've seen this thing grow just more and more every year. And it turned into a night where we were selling items for like 10 times what we had in the past.
Wow.
Like, for comparison's sake, our highest selling item the year before was, because I look at that stuff, I'm like, okay, where am I gonna go? Where do I need to start this out? And the first item sold $2,000 higher than our highest selling item the year before, and then every item thereafter was the same thing. You know, you're north of 5, 6, 10 grand at times. And it was just really cool to see this small, what started as a small school, and then the pandemic hits and more people kind of seeked out private schools. To watch this organization grow and thrive in such a huge way and really hit their stride this year was a really cool moment for me.
That's awesome. What about you, Paul?
For me, it was an animal organization event that I did, and it was the first one in 3 years. And I've been doing it for years. I know 99% of the people in the room and all the supporters. And when I had an MC named Ron, you guys know Ronnie, and we didn't really have a stage. We just kind of sat next to the projector. It was a really small, intimate room, and we just put arms around each other when we did our opening announcements. Hey, you guys, what's up?
Oh, that
And
almost is
it
a
just,
tearjerker a little bit, because I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and it just set the tone. It's like, okay,
That's cool.
these are all my peeps that we all think alike. And it was, you know, we didn't break any records financially, but we hung. But it was that environment of seeing all these really, really cool, very kind-hearted, caring people for animals in first time in 3 years. That's got to be my highlight of the spring.
Yeah.
I mean, as you said, there are many, and it's hard
Right.
to remember all of them. And it's also, if you're trying to differentiate between, was it a financial success?
Mm-hmm.
Was it an item you sold for $40,000?
Right.
Was it a thing? For me, it was a mood. It was an environment.
A feeling.
A feeling.
Yeah.
Almost like returning. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
oh, we made it through and now we're back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then having Ronnie with me.
Mm.
I mean, we're just like a couple of old buddies up there on the mic, right?
Yeah.
And
That's
that was
pretty
just,
cool.
it just continued
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
the way through. It was.
Can we go again?
It's a
Can we
good
do another
question.
round?
Yeah, if you have another one, because this question is my setup question. So yes,
Okay.
give me one more.
Okay.
Your
Do you
second
have a
favorite.
good one you're holding on to as well? Because we'll let you go last this time.
No, you know what? I have to say that I had so many good moments this season.
Good. Wait. Okay. So I can tell you already have one in the chamber.
No, I'm not gonna. I
Okay,
don't want to
all right.
downplay you, Shelby.
No.
Shelby,
Right,
I
no,
want
great.
you to
So
feel successful.
here's the deal. So I have been teaching at Auction College for many, many years, and I see these young auctioneers or aspiring auctioneers that really want to go out and change the world. And I see a lot of these individuals that try to figure out a way to do it, but they don't always land in the places that they would like. And I met an individual pre-COVID that I really vibed with, and this was the year that this individual was able to go out and actually do auctions for us because he had been under our wing for 4 years. And you can remember when we met, that was pre-COVID.
Yep.
And then he started doing production work for us, so he helped us kind of lipstick and bubblegum that thing through what we needed to be. And he really got his time in the spotlight this year. And of the 2 events that he went out and did, 3, one was with me, but of the 3 events he did, every one of the feedbacks came back positive.
That's because he's energetic and he's.
But he's parking it, and to see somebody
he's
that's
alive.
shout out Jeremy Hamill. I was really impressed.
That's exactly who
you
he
guys
was.
were
Yeah.
gonna say, I was
No.
gonna say it.
No, I was just very impressed. And you don't know, as somebody that knows that you're looking for somebody who's going to be an entertainer and does this for the right reasons, you don't always guess right. And for someone that has been with us for so many years and just kind of shadowing and doing whatever it takes to be a part of these fundraising events, to go out and get feedback, and then to have people call in the next week and say, I don't know when our date is, but I need this guy.
This guy was
It's
energy.
awesome. You know what I mean? Like, it's just
That
a good
is
feeling.
Incredible. It's awesome. I'm so happy for him.
Yeah.
Right?
And, it's been a 5-year run. I said to him this season, I was like, dude, I know it's a long time coming. COVID happened, but it was really cool. So to see our members thrive, and he's not alone. There's other members that I could share stories with as well.
He's also, though, the type of individual that is willing to learn from mistakes and see what he could do to better himself, or see where his successes were, where his downfalls were, and lift him up. And he's really been very...
Yeah, he's a student, and you don't always see that in this line of work, or people that want to like be an auctioneer. It's sometimes hard to find those individuals that really want to learn. Yeah, and he did. So.
Oh, that's awesome! I love hearing that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so happy for him.
Yeah, I am too. Yeah.
Did you want to do another one, or do you want to launch?
Yeah, I did have a fond memory. It's a selling a puppy story, where
I've had some not fond memories of selling a puppy story. But that is not what we're talking about.
Was that this season or last?
Yes. Nobody wants the puppy.
How much is that dog? Not enough, apparently. Not enough. Yeah.
Got down to the last two bidders. I'm off the stage. I'm bringing the dog over here, the whole dog and pony show that we do. And the dog obviously is leaning towards one of the two bidders. And I can clearly see that it's this guy over here. Mm-hmm. And he ends up buying it for $10,000. And I went up to him after the auction, and he said, I'm the foster parent for that animal.
I have to have it.
There's no way I'm coming home without this dog. My daughter would just have me in a ringer. And I'm like, so he just, kind of a bummer I had to spend $10,000, but it's well spent.
Yeah.
And
that's
we
awesome.
We just had a laugh and we fist bumped. And I'm like, well, good. Because the perfect guy got the perfect family, got that dog.
That's awesome.
And we can walk away not worrying about did the animal go to a good home because solid.
So you say dog and pony show. Now this is not a favorite memory.
Did you sell a pony?
This is years ago, but I have to just share this. So Mark and I were at a school auction, and it was in Enumclaw. I'm not going to give the name of the school. So speaking of pony show, and one of the things was a donkey. They were selling this donkey. They brought the donkey in the cafeteria, and it stops. And they're serving dinner, and it takes a big old fresh squat, just like woof. And there's this huge pile of crap, and people are trying to eat. Mark and I are like,
oh,
well,
what do we do now?
It works. You can tell it works. A working donkey. You can tell it works.
Talk about a dog and pony show.
Oh, I remember when that happened.
Okay, so this is wonderful that you guys have gotten to share that, and that's just minimal. We could sit here for hours and talk about the memories that you guys had, the good ones and the scary ones and the bad ones and all that, but always mostly good. All that being said, so Stokes Auction Group is based on the theory of a group. What sets us apart from any other auctioneer that isn't of a group that would make hiring Stokes Auction Group, right? What sets us apart from just Joe Blow out there or Sally Blow, whatever? Tell me that. Tell me what you believe sets us apart. Because there is a huge difference in our company.
You have anything?
I have to say it's experience. It is 30 years, plus however long each of us have been doing it, times the number of members we have. That could be hundreds of years of experience.
The first thing that comes to mind for me is like what makes us different, what sets us apart, is the fact that more often than not, we as an auction group realize that the auctioneer is one piece or one cog in the machine. Yeah. Like so often you'll bump into auctioneers that are like, I'm the show, I'm great, I'm this, I'm that, and then everything they do in terms of making that show great works, but it's often self-serving, whether it be a consignment package that compensates the auctioneer, whether it be the way things are lifted up or presented. And what I think our strength is that we have a team of consultants that's going to give you the best practice based on their experience, and it's less about the ego or lifting up of the auctioneer. It's more getting successful pieces in place to make sure the show runs as efficiently as it can. We bump into auctioneers that we often follow, and we hear horror stories of, oh, you know, some person decided to do this in like a random haphazard, without forethought decision was made, and essentially had a knock-on effect that really hurt the team or hurt the support of the donors in the back end. So I think ultimately, like, what I'm getting at is, to be an auctioneer, you must have an ego, right? And I want to do well. My ego makes me want to do well.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I know that there are some organizations that I talk about partnering with where I'm not the best fit to be in that room or serve that client. And I think that is kind of rare within the auction world.
Yeah. And and you not being the best fit, what you have when you hire the group is, if that fit isn't happening, right, whether it's before or after, those conversations are taking place with the people that hired us, and we're putting the best fit in there. I think that one of the things that also sets us apart.
Well, you're talking about whoever's doing the scheduling is placing the correct personality into that event.
Well, one of the things that we do when we are hired by, and this will kind of lead us into the next question a little bit, but we give them options. We show them 3 or 4, you know, and if they say, God, none of those really worked for us, you know, then we'll scratch to try to find a couple more options for them to look at, right? So that they can kind of get the feel of the auctioneer, kind of get the feel of the fit and all of that. So I think that the scheduling thing almost comes after that, because right now you're trying to find out, okay, they liked this guy, they didn't like this guy. Oh, but they liked this guy, they did. What's common in those guys? What's different in those guys, right? So we really do put time, energy, and true effort into partnering the right guy, because we want our team to also feel successful, but we want the outcome for that organization to be the best that it can be.
Right.
So I think giving them those options is part of that.
And having a large pool to choose
And having a large pool
is a considerable advantage for a Stokes auction
to
group.
choose from. What is the biggest mistake you believe an event planner or a ED or a chairperson, what is the biggest mistake they make when going to hire their auctioneer?
The biggest mistake they make when hiring an auctioneer. You know, my next comment cuts both ways, right? It's a double-edged sword, but sometimes they go like on the recommendation of one of their key chair people. You know what I mean? We saw so-and-so here, and we like him, so hire this individual. But what doesn't happen in that process is the donor supports the organization, and the organization hires the staffer, right? So when donor says, hey, go hire this guy, staffer will hire that individual no matter what. What that donor never sees is the fact that if that auctioneer is not quality beforehand, they are a nightmare to work with and throwing curveballs the entire time. So it really puts a lot of strain on the staffer when they have to or go blindly with a recommendation of a key donor.
What do you think?
I would piggyback on that. That is, and I've seen that over and over again.
Yeah,
where
definitely.
One individual on the board or one individual who's part of the auction committee, one individual has say. You've got 9 people on this committee. One of them doesn't like auctioneer A. The rest of them do. But because of who this person is.
Yeah, whether it be financial or just squeaky wheel too, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's not a collective group making the decision. It's one person. No, I didn't like so-and-so. I didn't because this is what he did.
Yeah.
Not to say that happened to me.
No.
No feelings.
hell
No
no.
feelings. Call me on my
No,
personal. I'll
you
tell
know,
y'all.
I mean,
Yeah, you know, and
it just strikes me as interesting. Though, if you have a committee, you have a group of people. It should be a democratically designed system.
Mhm.
But one individual has say over everybody else.
It
doesn't make sense.
I have
to
a
me.
thought though that also I think price. I think that you know, I think it's like any sale, right? If they want to know what the price is, well, how much is it going to cost me to have them there? That tells you a lot about that client right up front. You know, that they maybe aren't necessarily looking for the best fit. They may be just looking to cut the budget. I mean, this is a tough question.
It's a tough question,
but it's a good one.
I mean, the road you're going down in regards to financing and like how much the cost will actually factor into the decision is a hard question to answer because we serve both the organization that raises $1 million and then we also help the school down the street where $1,500 is going to make or break their budget.
Yeah.
So it's really a hard place to be in because when you get to that higher echelon of auction, fit's what matters.
Mm-hmm.
And we've heard of friend competitors charging much more than we choose to charge.
Mm-hmm.
And it's happening, and it's because those individuals have decided, hey, this is the right fit for my event.
Yeah. These are great answers.
And I think that having a broad group of personalities, men, women, younger, older, especially the younger guys coming up, you know, a couple jump out at me, plus the old veterans, you know, that have the wisdom and are willing to share it.
Yeah.
That is a valuable piece of our overall team.
And, you know, we pride ourselves in calling ourselves also a talent agency, in essence, is what we are, right? But we have the consultants that give them 24/7, you know, answers, questions. They're available to talk you through whether you want to do games or how many people you have, or do you want to do heads or tails, or here's an idea. And I also think something that, you know, we've spoke many times about this in our podcast, but what having that group offers also is that those same people that are going out and doing these are coming back and feeding us with information of what's happening out there, what's new, and you know, you go to different demographics, you go to different, you know, geographical areas, because that's a big deal too.
Very much so. Yeah.
Then you know, we are having this pot of information that we can quite honestly, excitedly share with these people that are hiring our group. Also, if something goes wrong within a time, we've had it happen where an auctioneer just gets sick or has a death in the family or gets stuck somewhere. We had one this spring. I can't remember which one it was, but we were all wheeling trying to figure out how are we going to get somebody from point A to point B.
Yeah.
And we were doing that before we actually even needed to. That was the beauty of that group and the beauty of the consultants and you guys wanting this thing to go off without a hitch, not just for the organization, but for our auctioneer that's going out there and wanting to be successful.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's you know, we're very blessed to be able to do what we do, and it's pretty neat that we do have so many walks of life, whether it be experience based or age based. You know, some people are better with certain categories or types of nonprofits. It's been an interesting ride. You know, it really has. And speaking to calling, you know, us a talent agency, it's true.
It is true.
It just fits so well. When we came upon that, it was just like, oh well, obviously that's what's happening here. You know, and now we're seeing some organizations that aren't even choosing to do an auction anymore. I mean, you had one this spring, I had one this spring, and
I loved that one, and it went away.
Did it?
Yeah,
Are you sure?
Well, or they're on one heck of a hiatus.
We'll have to connect on that.
Okay.
We'll have to connect on that. But yeah, you know, it's we're very lucky.
Or they didn't like the ringman that
They
came.
didn't like the ringman. No, never. But yeah, you know, we're lucky to be able to do what we do, and that depth is beneficial. And we've been in this game long enough to know quality, whether it be
on both sides.
On both sides, on both sides. We've been here long enough to know quality, and we know when people come and go. You
Mm.
know, and we see
Oh, yeah.
it in all walks of life. You go into an organization, you're like, oh, this won't be here in 24 months.
Right.
And it's because people aren't there for the right reasons. So, I don't know.
Well, awesome. I just thought these were kind of cool questions. You know, we're kind of winding down, and I thought to myself, you know what? What separates us? And what is the difference? And how do two people feel about that?
Mhm.
And because you guys know how I feel. I know how you feel, but now they know.
I mean, I to be honest with you, I just feel grateful to be able to do what we do. You know, like I was telling Paul over lunch, you know, I had the opportunity to partner with a very cool organization, and stage time was only like an hour.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And you pinch yourself that you're able to make a living. Not you know, we don't live in mansions, people, but you know, to scratch out a living doing what we do
It's a fair
we're very
living.
we're
It's not
very
a-
blessed.
Yeah.
We're very blessed to be able to do it. And yeah, I'm just grateful for it. At the end of the spring, we're tired. We're all ready for a couple weeks off. But at the end of the day, like, very grateful to do what we do, man.
Yeah, I was looking through some of our old vids from this time last year, and it's fun. Remember we did the barbecue stuff, and
Yes.
remember we were, you know, and
Yeah.
it's like, whoa, that was a year ago. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
wow! But you know, we successfully made it through another year, right? We're still here.
Yeah.
We're not going anywhere.
No, we are
No,
not
and the
going
Pool is only
anywhere.
going to get bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the likes of
Well, and you know, we've kind of been looking at numbers, and it's been really difficult for us to budget like what this company looks like in regards to customer flow and virtual events and the not virtual events. And this season feels like, okay, the
We
momentum
might
is
be coming back,
The
yeah.
momentum is back. Like we're building
Mhm.
to in-person events again in a big way. And last season we were all busy, but it was kind of like this, I don't know.
Yeah.
And some of those organizations kind of went away. The event
Yeah.
changed. But now the season is like, oh yeah, this is what the ones that are like there to stay are now here. And it's very refreshing.
We worked harder than we've worked in a long time at our auction this last
Mhm.
weekend. I mean, holy smokes. But I got to tell you, a gal that a few years ago was not super warm and fuzzy to us. I mean, I love yous were being thrown our direction, and we didn't have a stellar night, but we had a great feel.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's what you need. Look past the numbers sometimes. And if the numbers aren't extremely higher than they were before, that's okay. We have to rebuild every few years. And part of that process is also re-educating the team that you are servicing that night, which is, you know, your EDs, your chairs and all that, hey, this year could be a rebuild year. So prepare for that.
Yeah.
And know that your success isn't based on the numbers tonight.
Mhm.
So, yeah,
you got to create that positive
You
mood,
do.
right?
you do.
And like you've always said, you got to think about next year.
You have to think about next
You
year
gotta
or 2
keep-
years from now. Yeah.
It's not today's dollar, it's tomorrow's.
Tomorrow's dollar.
Old Larry.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Shout
it's
out to
true.
Larry.
It's very, very
Grandpa
true. Don't get me
Larry.
wrong. We want today's dollars too, but you know, today's dollars keep us rolling. But
Yeah.
it is very true. So,
Today's
but I
dollar-
appreciate your guys' candor on that. I know I ask some weird questions sometimes, but
You're a shot out of a cannon. We just
The-
never quite know what's
Yeah,
going on. And
but I think
that's
I
why
thought
we
these
love
were.
you.
Thank you.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
that's why we love you.
know, in the past 10, 15 years, there's been more competition.
Agreed.
Mhm. Yeah.
From the auctioneer standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just more options out there. And we're constantly trying to stay on the cutting edge and trying to stay relevant and trying to stay funny and educational
And we are funny.
and we're trying to we're trying to give our clients the best advice we possibly can.
Mhm.
I mean, we're not changing our game just because there's competition out there. I mean, I think that's a healthy environment to live in. But it goes back to your question, what sets us apart?
Yeah.
And that word group.
The word
And
group saves
experience.
us. You know, it saves the client, it saves us. It just, you always know that you have somebody you can call and say, this is what's happening. What do we do? Or where should we move? And then you have not one, not two. You have the entire team working on that one problem for a short time.
Sure.
And that's a big deal.
Yep.
That's a big, big deal.
Big deal.
So,
Big deal.
Big.
Huge.
there's never been a bigger deal.
Huge. food. There have been bigger plants, though. I promise you
Yes,
that.
there have been
That's
bigger
a nice
plants.
little pizza fire pit too.
Oh, little pizza pit.
Little pizza pit.
Welcome to
I'm
Pizza
pointing
Pit.
at it. Anyway, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, y'all. Appreciate you being here this week and every week. Happy spring, summer, whatever
No,
it is.
happy summer. Hey, we are, today's the 6th. Today is D-Day. Today is the anniversary of D-Day. And check out our Facebook. Mark and I met a gentleman named Sid a few years back that was on the beaches of Normandy. And it was an absolute honor
I saw that photo.
to meet him.
Awesome.
And he was just, he's met the Dalai Lama. He's met all the presidents, all the remaining presidents at that time. And I want to say Mark and I met him, I want to say 8 years ago. And he was 97 years old, celebrating his 97th birthday.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Still a youngster, yep.
Still a
The
youngster.
Ivan's here.
Yeah.
Still a youngster.
But
All right,
anyway,
you guys.
yeah.
Thanks for joining us. Go out. Be good to yourself.
Be courageous.
And maybe take the week off from raising money. But go raise some money.
Yeah, take a little time to yourself.
A little time.
We're gonna.
You deserved it. You earned it.